My name is Maria Keller and I'm a digital artist from Mexico. On this tutorial, we will use Adobe Illustrator to create a 3D Easter egg. All the keys and shortcuts I use will be displayed on the screen so you can follow along. Let's begin. The first thing we're going to do once we open our document is go to our Tools panel. And probably by default you're going to see the rectangle tool, but if you click and hold that click, you're going to see the rest of the tools. Now I would recommend you that you click on this little triangle so that you can detach the window. That way you can place it near your canvas and access all the tools faster. The first thing we're going to create is going to be the shape of the egg. So to do that, I'm going to go to the ellipse tool or press L on our keyboard and click. I'm going to create an ellipse of 220 by 300 pixels and press OK. Once I have created this one, I'm going to go to my direct selection tool or press A on my keyboard and select the anchor points that are on the middle. I'm going to move them a little bit to the bottom to make the shape of an egg. And you can move them a little bit more until you think or you have the egg shape that you like. Now I only need half of this egg. So to do that, I'm going to go to my direct selection tool and select the anchor point that is on the left and delete it. That way I only have half. I'm going to select these anchor points that are here on the left, go to the top and find the connect selected endpoints and click. That way I have a close shape. Now I don't want my egg to be red, so I'm going to create the texture of my egg. So to do that, we're going to go again to our tools and select the rectangle tool by clicking here or press the shortcut M, and I'm going to click and make a rectangle that is, sorry, I made a mistake there, 50 pixels by 500 pixels. And I'm going to actually rotate this by going to one of the corners and rotate while I press shift, so I rotate it on a straight angle. Now I'm going to change the color maybe to green. I had already selected my colors in advance, but you can feel free to select whatever colors you think suit your project. Now I'm going to create a copy by just clicking and dragging while I press Alt and Shift, and I'm going to press Ctrl D to repeat that last action, and I'm going to do this 5 times to have 5 copies. Now I'm going to go to my align, so I'm going to go Window, Align. And now that I have this align, I'm going to select both of them, click again on the top one, and you can see how the outline is thicker, and go here to my distribute spacing and click here on vertical distribute space. Make sure that the distance is 0 pixels, and do the same for the rest of the rectangles. Once you have all the rectangles aligned, you're going to change the colors. So I'm right here changing all the colors to the colors I had picked in advance. And with this, I have more or less the texture that I want to apply to my egg, but I'm going to add a little bit more texture by going to my ellipse tool or press L on my keyboard and creating a little circle. Just click there and make a circle that has a width and a height of 25 pixels. I'm going to hit OK and make sure that I align it, and you can change the color with your eyedropper or change the color directly by clicking on it. I'm going to align these two objects, the rectangle and the circle, and vertical align center. Now I'm going to move the circle so it intersects that side of my rectangles, and I'm going to drag while I press Alt and Shift to create a copy on the other side. I'm going to drag both circles and go to Object, Blend, Make. And as you can see, there are too many circles there, so I'm going to go to Blend Options. And in here, I'm going to have a little preview and change the specified steps instead of 19 to 10. And I'm going to press OK. You can see how the number of circles has decreased. I'm going to go to Object, Expand, and hit OK, so I have each individual circle. I'm going to create a copy while dragging and pressing Alt and Shift, and do the same again, so I have 3 of the circles. And I'm going to make sure that I align these rows of circles to the rectangle that is going to contain them. Then I'm going to change the colors of this, but first I'm going to remove this anchor point on the outside the one that is not touching the rectangles, because I don't want them to be there. Now I'm going to change the colors to yellow and to orange. And with this I have my texture. I'm going to select everything and go to my symbols window, and if you don't have that window, you can go to Window, Symbols, and the window is going to appear. Now I just drag and drop it, and I'm going to name my symbol, and I'm going to change the name to something like texture, and make sure that my export type is graphic. Press OK. Now you can see that my symbol is right there. Now we're going to go back to our shape that it was going to be our egg, and we're going to go to Effect, 3D, Revolve. This window is going to appear, and in here you can check the little preview to see how your egg is going to be right there. Go to Map Art, select right there on the top. You can see that you can assign a symbol, so click there, and you're going to see that we have our texture there, right there. And you can see how the texture is not being applied to the whole egg, and that is because we have our texture is smaller than our map area. So we could scale this manually, but you can simply click to scale to fit, and now all the texture has been applied there. You're going to hit OK. You can rotate by clicking and dragging on the cube, and position your egg in the position that you would like your egg to be. You could rotate around with the values or manually. Now you can delete this because you already have the texture on the symbol. I'm gonna move this here and create a copy by Alt and Shift while dragging, and Ctrl D to repeat my last action. Now you go to your appearance window, and if you don't have it, you could go to Window, Appearance, or Shift F6, and go here to 3D Revolve, click. Again, the little preview you can check, and you can move it around to create a completely different pose for your egg with just a couple of clicks. Now I'm going to repeat this with the other egg. Again, go to my appearance and select the 3D Revolve effect and change the position. Now you could move them a little bit, and if you need to, you could scale your artboard by going to your artboard tool, clicking there, and just make it a little bit bigger. And with this, you have your eggs. And you could always change or custom, the rotation that you have here, because this effect is completely alive, so you can change it. And you could do the same with the texture. Let's say that you don't want this anymore, so you could double click on your symbol and change, let's say, the color. Let's make this one purple. And if I go back to my document, now you can see how it has updated the texture. And the reason why you can only see it on the first object is because the other two are copies, so you would need to update this manually by having a little preview, and you can see that now you have that purple. And just as easily as you made this change, you could undo everything and have your eggs back to the way you had them. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.